In the second installment of the Crash Bandicoot series, it is certainly more of the same, and that's not necessarily a bad thing. Naughty Dog and Sony teamed up in 1996 to design a new revolutionary platformer for the PlayStation 1, Crash Bandicoot. And although slightly buggy, it was received pretty well. So in November of 1997, the two parties teamed up again, bringing our anthropomorphic Bandicoot his second adventure of the 1990s, Crash Bandicoot 2, Cortex Strikes Back. Fast forward 20 years, and with the lack of ideas streaming out of the gaming industry, we find ourselves with another remake of a childhood classic. The Crash Bandicoot Insane Trilogy provides all three of the original PS1 Bandicoot games, but as the intro clearly states, we're going to be focusing on Crash Bandicoot 2.
Cortex Strikes Back.
So sit back, relax, and let's talk some video games. Or more me talk to you. Anyways, on to the show. When we last left off, Crash had sent Dr. Neo Cortex falling to his death, somehow surviving, and for that matter being within inches of being impaled by crystals. The Doctor comes up with a new plan to exact his revenge on our furry Bandicoot companion.
Crystals, of course. No!
Cortex, seemingly having turned over a new leaf, kidnaps Crash and convinces him to find crystals all over the Insanity Islands. Cause you know, when turning over a new leaf, kidnapping's still okay, obviously. Sure, it's a hollow story, but who cares, it's a platformer from 1997. Unless Crash is going to get his own RPG, then don't pay attention to the story. I wonder if we could actually make that happen. Can we get Naughty Dogs to make a Crash Bandicoot RPG? Internet, we need to get this going. Let's go. Hashtag Crash Bandicoot RPG. Get it trending. Crash Bandicoot is by no stretch an RPG. It's actually the furthest thing from it. But it brings back the unique platforming that was established in the first game. You run through levels, spinning, kicking, and jumping your way to find the 25 crystals in the game. Whether it be towards your living room, away from you, or just a traditional side-scrolling style, you are going to have to use all of Crash's abilities to finish this adventure. Crash does have a couple new moves, like a slide dash and a tiny high jump, but other than that, it's almost a carbon copy of the original. And that's sort of the thing with Cortex Strikes Back. It's almost the exact same game in every facet. And if you played the first one, you are going to discover that very quickly, whether it's being chased by a boulder, running into your TV, or walking through a lush forest, putting the two games up against each other is almost impossible to tell which one is which. All the other mechanics of Crash are back, starting with the collectibles. You have your Wumpa Fruit, your Aki Aki mask, and your different colored crystals scattered throughout the 25 plus levels that are all being brought together by the Crash Bandicoot staple, boxes. Every level in the game provides you with a certain amount of boxes that need to be broken to unlock a gem. But breaking boxes certainly provides more than that for you. Sure, you can skip them, there is no penalty for it, but you are going to miss out on a fair bit of 1-ups. And trust me, you are going to need as many 1-ups as you can muster. This game is hard. Like, really hard. Judging the distance for jumps feels insanely difficult at times, and other times it just feels like it's all trial and error, which I'm not gonna lie, is irritating more often than not. It can feel more like a test of memory than playing and reacting to what's given to you. And with the limited amount of lives and checkpoints doled out, things can get agonizingly repetitive. The flying levels are shorter and filled with less death traps, but it's also certainly slower, and more of a chore hampered by brutal controls. At least if you're dying constantly, then you will get plenty of time to take in the sights and sounds of Cortex Strikes Back, and the hilarious death animations that Crash has become known for. Levels do not have a wide variety of creativity, and they really hold no continuity between worlds. Sometimes you're taking Crash to a winter wonderland, then you're in a lush forest before ending up in outer space, and all that can happen within one world. It doesn't feel like there's any themes applied to the worlds, but with that being said, running through the levels still feel inclusive and unique. Everything is colorful in HD, and the music is absolutely phenomenal. So at least when you're pulling your hair out for not making that jump that you thought was a pretty basic jump, you can take a second to listen to the music. And that's really all the time you're going to get, because for how quickly and often Crash will be squished, burned, or exploded, loading times make sending Crash in for another round incredibly quick. Games like Crash, Super Meat Boy, and others that can drive people nuts have incredibly quick loading times, giving you no time to stew on the past failures. It just fills you with the determination that you want to make that jump, or kill that turtle, and finish that damn level. Not being an overly long game despite the difficulty, there is no more than a day or two's worth of playtime. Attempting to collect all the hidden gems and breaking all the boxes will certainly add some playtime, but probably nothing substantial. The Insane Trilogy does provide you with 3 games though, and for the price of around $50, that's not a bad deal by any stretch. Even though it feels like a carbon copy of the first game, that's not a bad game to copy. Yeah, the difficulty can occasionally drive you insane, and the levels, despite being lush and colorful, can start to feel repetitive, but those are things that a game from 1997 were fairly common. I would think of Crash 2 as more of a massive expansion pack to the original. It's a good add-on, but there's really nothing that makes it stand out. And with that, I give Crash Bandicoot 2 Cortex Strikes Back my rating of Borrow. Find a friend that owns the Insane Trilogy and bum it off them somehow. That's what people did to me. Thanks guys for watching. If you're interested, then click on the left box for last week's review, and on the right box, it's a Tale of 3 Idiots, where myself and 2 other YouTubers play games and yell a lot. Check it out. Until then, take it easy, internet.